Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're basically playing the role of process detectives. We're going to demystify the embedded Power BI process report and really figure out how to use it to hunt down those hidden inefficiencies in your business. You know, if you've ever felt like your company's workflows are just a complete black box, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to take all those technical features of process analytics and turn them into a super clear, highly structured methodology you can use right away. Let's take a really quick look at our roadmap. We'll start off with the Power BI process report itself, move into mapping out your business processes, define exactly what cases and activities actually are, unlock your variant DN, and finally, validate your process data. Let's jump right in.
Starting with Section 1, the Power BI process report, or, keeping with our whole detective theme, the scene of the investigation.
So, our investigation kicks off the moment you ingest and analyze your process event log data. That data flows directly into the embedded process report. Honestly, think of this report as your primary crime scene. It's a completely interactive space. We start uncovering exactly where those potential improvement opportunities are hiding out. It's definitely not just a static wall of numbers. It's a dynamic environment built to literally show you where things are slowing down, where the bottlenecks are, and where your workflows are just wandering off the ideal path.
And the best part about this is that because it's a Microsoft Power BI embedded report, you're actively interrogating the data. You can interact directly with the process map or select specific data points to instantly create filtered views. That means you can isolate and analyze process events using a highly specific subset of data. Like if you suddenly need to know what happened last Tuesday in one specific division, boom, you just click and filter. It's incredibly immediate.
Moving right along to Section 2, mapping your business process. This is where we get the aerial view of our operations.
The process map is probably the most powerful visual tool you've got in your arsenal. It is a graphical representation of how your processes actually happen in the real world, not just how someone wrote them down in a manual somewhere. When you're looking at the map in higher resolution, you definitely want to keep a few key visual cues in mind. Those lines connecting the steps, they act as edges, explaining what's happening based on the metrics you've selected. Then you've got the halo effect. This visually highlights the significance of certain numbers. A massive halo instantly tells your brain, hey, look right here, this is an area of high volume or high friction. Plus, you can toggle these views, changing the metrics to show things like total duration or mean duration. It just gives you so many different lenses to view your performance through.
That brings us to Section 3, Cases, Activities, and KPIs. If the map was our aerial view, these are the vital signs and the usual suspects.
So we track your business's vital signs using key performance indicators, or KPIs, which are sitting conveniently up in the upper part of the Summary tab. Now, one absolutely crucial KPI you've got to watch like a hawk is the rework cases percentage. When you compare rework cases against your first-time right cases, it instantly flags inefficiencies. Rework literally means a task had to be done more than once. That's wasted time, it's wasted money, and it's a prime target for process improvement.
Alongside rework, you're also going to heavily evaluate the average case duration. This single number is so revealing. It gives you an immediate pulse on the overall time health of your workflow. If that average duration starts inexplicably creeping up, well, you instantly know you've got a structural problem somewhere in that process map that desperately needs your attention.
But to really make sense of these metrics, we need to make sure we're defining our terms clearly. Let's start with a case. A case is simply a single instance of a process that's completed from start to finish. Say your process is fulfilling a customer order. The case starts the millisecond the customer hits buy, and it absolutely doesn't end until that package is sitting on their front porch.
Then we have an activity. An activity is a specific event or task that happens somewhere within that larger process journey. This really grounds our investigation in real, concrete tasks. We're talking about things like an invoice entry or a refund customer action. They're basically the individual stepping stones that make up the entire path of a case.
So the really crucial point here is keeping this distinction clear in your mind. The case is the macro view, the big, start-to-finish timeline. The activity is the micro view, just one specific, isolated event somewhere along that timeline. And you simply can't optimize a full case without optimizing the individual activities inside it. Make sense?
All right, drilling down even deeper, we hit Section 4, Unlocking Your Variant DNA. Let's look at the behavioral fingerprint of your processes.
Let's look for some clues by uncovering what the report calls a variant. A variant is a path, specifically a unique sequence of steps that a process takes from start to finish. In a perfect world, every case follows the exact same optimal variant. But, out in the real world, things deviate. Steps get skipped, processes loop backward, people find workarounds. Each of those unique paths is a new variant.
And that brings us to this brilliant concept of variant DNA, which illustrates exactly how a unique sequence of activities behaves. The embedded report lets you see the actual number of variant case activities. So you're not just getting a flag that a deviation happened, you're actually watching exactly how that unique sequence behaves out in the wild. By studying your variant DNA, you can discover those undocumented workarounds your team is using, or figure out exactly where a standard operating procedure is just totally falling apart.
Finally, before we close the book on this investigation, we have Section 5, Validating Your Process Data. Time for interrogation and verification.
Listen, you cannot base major business decisions on flawed evidence. The system knows this, which is why it hits you with a validation notification message. You need to review this message because it's designed to immediately alert you to the status and health of the data you just imported. It is literally your first line of defense against bad analytics.
When that notification pops up, you've got to run through the validation steps. Review the notification message, absolutely make sure you access the detailed validation report, and diligently perform the recommended checks. Honestly, skipping this is like a detective ignoring a contaminated crime scene. You have to verify that your data is entirely accurate and reliable before you start using these powerful tools to make sweeping changes to your operations.
So, as you get ready to open up your own embedded Power BI process reports and start optimizing, I want to leave you with one final thought. It is incredibly satisfying to see your whole business mapped out beautifully with edges and halos lighting up your productivity. Your process might look perfect, but is your data truly validated? Make sure your foundation is rock solid, and then use these tools to unlock your business's true potential. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy investigating.